All right, guys, good afternoon. I'm going to do this recap, which was very interesting. So today we had a really nice trading on Tesla and Roku, and I'm going to explain what happened.
Hi, thanks for watching my video. My name is Andrew Aziz and I'm the author of How to Day Trade for a Living. In this channel, I'm showing my daily trades on the US stock market. I hope that you enjoy the videos. Make sure to subscribe to our channel. Thanks for watching and welcome to my channel.
And Tesla in the last couple of days gave us a very nice move. Really, on the September 1st sold off 5%, and yesterday went up 4%, and now today gapped down, and it was really volatile and trading really nicely, and we capitalized on that. Let's talk about it. At the end, eventually closed minus 2%. So at the open, it was kind of flat at the open, but really sold off. Very nice 1 minute open range breakdown below the VWAP. Unfortunately, I didn't know that because again, it was kind of flat and it wasn't on my radar. Eventually hit the scanner on the trading terminal, and I went short for a 5 minute open range breakdown. It did come down. I partialed, came back up. I kind of got stopped out at almost break even, and then as soon as I got out, there's a huge massive drop after that happened. It was very disappointing to see that as soon as I got out, the huge drop actually got. So see, it was essentially 5 minute open range breakup with the stop loss above the VWAP. I got some profit out of it, kind of a 2-to-1 to 3-to-1 risk to reward. I got out at the break even, and then the massive move dropped toward the 245. So let me explain a couple of important things here, because that's very important for traders that ask a couple of questions for here. So there are two questions here that someone asked in the community that I wanted to mention that. So our editor is going to zoom in that. First is that Robert is asking, I just joined a couple of days ago, and I want to ask a question. It might be a rookie question. You put the stop loss at the break even after you take partials. That's exactly what I did here in this trade. Why do you not move your stop loss closer to the price as moves into the direction like a safety net? So essentially what he wants to talk about is talking about something called a trailing stop. What we call it, a trailing stop, means that as price going down, you can bring your stop loss closer to the price. And I'm going to explain why I'm not using trailing stop. Another question that I want to actually answer about this trade is that how do you explain that candlestick with a very big tick on Tesla? And I'm going to show you what is that candlestick and why, what is it and what does that mean. So let's go through the chart again. So the question that the second question about this big candlestick, that what is this? So I'm going to explain that to the first. So this is called the bad print. This is called this bad print. It means that the price was trading here, and then suddenly there was one transaction happened at 253. It could be a block trade. It could be a trade between two institutions. It wasn't something that the price pushes up and is going to go down and becomes a doji. This is that, because if this was going to be that trade, the volume has to be significantly higher. This is just a bad print. It means that the transaction was here and then another transactions happened here. It might be a bad fill, market maker manipulation, or potentially this is just a direct transfer for some shares between two institutions that agreed on a price. So because this one didn't go through the market the way that moved from 246 all the way up to 53, this point, the last point here, the next point here, and then what essentially the charting system platforms work is they connect all of the time and sell. So everything that goes through the tape, they're going to come here. So if the next one tape is here, the next one is up there, so the points would be like something like that. So it just moves that much. So that's what we call it a bad print. You really don't consider this as a doji. Again, if this was a really huge move, the volume should have been way bigger, because you have to go up and you go down, you have to absorb a lot of liquidity. So that was the second question. The first question is that Robert asked. First of all, Robert, there is no stupid question, only stupid people. You can ask anything in the community and we answer that. So Robert is asking, why when you start partialing out here, why do you bring your stop loss to the break even? Why don't you bring your stop loss as price goes down lower? So this is called the trailing stop. Like if the price here, you partial, you put your stop loss here. If the price goes down, you bring your stop loss to this point. And then you bring this point. And as you go, you bring this point. You can do that. Forex traders do that, especially in the longer time frame. You can use trailing stops. Can give a percentage of the average through range, like for example 10 cents, 20 cents, $1, $2, and you're moving into that, so your stop is moving. It's pretty good. But for scalping, for the type of trading that I do, you can't use that, because this fluctuation, we scalp so fast that if you bring your stop loss too close to the price, you might get chopped up from the normal price action. That's why for day trading is very, very important for trade management, that at least put your stop loss at the break even, so you actually survive these pullbacks. I actually didn't get the stop out. I kind of covered it too early, but it really didn't test my break even, and I could actually capitalize on such a huge, amazing move as well. So I could actually start partialing here as well. And not only that, because we also had another drop after that as well. See, you went all the way up to 245. So that was a really, really amazing. So if I wasn't really getting stopped out, partial here, partial here, partial here, partial here, partial here, and probably my final target would be 245, which is in this level. So these questions are raising in the chat room, extremely important about trade management. And I want to mention that to you, that when you're at the first R, you partial. So that's always my rule. This is entry. When you come down in the first R, you bring always your stop loss back to the break even. And it's very important that your stop loss is not too close to the price. Because if you, for example, say, okay, I go long, I go short here, and then I partial here, and then I put a stop loss just here, you're gonna get chopped up, because this is a natural movement in the stock. You always have to give it some room, especially higher prices stocks move like 20-30 cents move on Tesla is completely normal. So that's the trade that I Tesla. That was a trade management on Tesla. I had one, so let me show you actually what happened today. I had a really small loss on AMD. I took 400 shares on AMD at the open. I didn't like it. I got stopped out. And Roku was a very, very nice 5-minute opening range breakup, which was a really nice scalp that eventually ended the day very nicely. And I still sitting on JEPQ. And I said, so tomorrow JEPQ is going to give dividend, so we're going to collect a dividend on JEPQ. So let's see what the trade on AMD was. AMD was at the open a little bit crazy, and yesterday was really nice. At the open was a little bit crazy, so I went long only 400 shares. And see, I didn't like this doji at the open for opening range breakup. I wanted to short it, and suddenly came back up, and then in this pullback, and I said maybe I go small and see if it can pop up. Again, we had this doji that was a bad sign. This one was a good sign, but eventually it came down and I got stopped out at it. So very small loss because I took a very small share size. Roku was the best. Roku was, coming up. So Roku in the day was gapping up, and let me actually go during the day. Yeah, here I went all the way to red. So Roku. And the pre-market gapped up significantly, almost 10% gap up. It's amazing, because I think there was some forward-looking guidance that the company announced, and the market really, really liked that in the pre-market. As you see here, gapped up really nicely about 94.72. That was the high of pre-market, and at the opened the strong. So in the pre-market, at the opened the strong. Brian and Jared both traded as a follow. Angel, they went long here, they got this pop. I traded as a 5-minute opening range breakup for the break of 95. So I went long at 94.25, popped up all the way up to 95.75, 5,000 shares, about 6,000 shares, which is considered actually a lot for this Roku, because it's very volatile. And again, partial, and then the last partial was at the break even. Again, that's the trade management that I personally do. So this is extremely important for trade management, that you bring your stop loss at the break even. Never ever again add again here. Do not add here, because if you add here and it's going to continue going down, now your position is bigger and bigger, and your loss is going to get bigger and bigger and bigger. If you add by mistake or for whatever, make sure that this line, the VWAP line, is the line that you don't want to cross the line. So if you pass this one, definitely it's going to be really short. So when the strongest stock that gapped up 10% loses the VWAP, it's a very bad signal. So it can go significantly lower. And now let's take a look at 5-minute charts. Unbelievable that Roku actually sold off all day, all the way up to the close, bounce back eventually from the close, and close only 2%. But that's unbelievable drop of 10%. This is just unbelievable drop. So it's very important to actually do the trade management. And that's it. So that's the trade management lessons that we had about trading Tesla and Roku. And I hope everybody enjoyed. So again, remember guys, Toronto, I'm going to be in Friday and Saturday and Sunday on Toronto. We have a meetup on Saturday night. My presentation, I have two presentations, one keynote to speak on Saturday and another one during the noon. Ardi also have a presentation on Saturday, and we have a booth at Money Show as well. So really looking forward to see many of you guys there in the community. Have a good day guys, and see you in the chat room.